This encrusted jewel project is all done using the Jumbo Cling Rubber Songbird set, which is lovely to have something this scale to work with. And I've got the designs already on my jumbo handle. And I started with a pale blue paper and adding the coffee spritzing to it with the instant coffee makes some very interesting patterns that are unique each time. And I'm going to stamp just a little bit for some soft bits of patterning of this beautiful poem. Now we'll take our songbird and we'll ink this one again here with the Versamark ink. In the spirit of frontage, we are going to rough this up a little bit, and I might have done it at an earlier stage, but even now we're just going to have some fun crumpling this paper. Okay, now this is a handy little tool that will allow you to create a rough weathered edge. And I've done this on both the top panel as well as a backing piece, so some crumpling and the rough edge will now give me a real interesting matching set that I can work together. I had a beautiful bird's nest brought to me that had little bits of ribbon and things woven right into the nest, so it seemed fitting that we would try something here where we're doing a bit of weaving some threads in and out of the card. And you've got a couple of options. If you have a very small punch, you can get to the edges of the card and punch some little tiny holes. You don't need much. And if you get to areas that you can't reach with the punch, we can also use a stylus of some kind to just poke some other holes. So I'm kind of just following any of the areas where there are leaves or branches, and I planned a little bit kind of what was the ins and outs of it so that it wouldn't be covering the bird itself, but would be tucked in and out. From the little holes I made on the back, I'm going to push a couple of them through the hole with a stylus tool of some kind. This will save your sanity of threading them through. But the fun part of this is that we don't want it even and neat. We want it irregular. We want it all interesting and random. Each way you do it, each time you do it may be different, and that's okay. Next, what I'm going to show you is how we prepared this background panel. And for this, I simply cut some cardboard, and by showing you the back, you can see where I placed large holes at the top and a couple of small holes at the bottom, which would allow for my little knobs to be secured. And I did an entire sheet of bond paper. I did some coffee spritzing to start with. I did some stamping in brown and black, using the little leaves as well as the poem, and this just gave me a real interesting fade in and out kind of look. And then by doing torn pieces out of this, this gave me a lot of interesting elements that I could add to the cardboard, so, or chipboard. So let's, for this, I'll just show you on one of them here. I found that using a white glue and a little bit of something in the way of a spatula is an easy way, because to get a nice bond you want to get all the way out to the edges. So I'm going to take some of this glue and with my palette knife give a thin coating that covers the entire piece. And this will give me a great way to glue it down. Okay, so your pieces can be positioned however you like, and overlapping and going around the edges if you like, and all of that comes together to give you a very interesting backdrop. In addition to that element, once it's dry, then you can begin working on with your punched holes. These little knobs were actually screwed in, and so that makes a nice fit for that and secures them to the bottom and gives it a good strength for working as a jewelry holder that we want to use it for. And up here at the top I had some lovely little pieces of sticks or bamboo, and the twine gave me an easy way to take a piece maybe about that long, and by starting with it doubled over, I'm able to come through the holes, loop it through, and then begin to do a series of knots here that allow me to get the sticks at the top to hang evenly. So you can see by knotting it at this juncture and then attaching the first stick, knot it again, holds it steady and gives you a nice balanced hanger at the top. So any way you want to attach that works nice. And now this element can be positioned and glued on top, and I like it at an angle. And that completes our encrusted jewel project for a beautiful frontage jewelry holder.